Just out of curiosity, remind me again, why are you selling the property? Now that's the fourth question that I'm going to ask. That's my anchor question. This is going to determine their real level of motivation. And see, here's the thing. I save that as the anchor question because now I've earned the right to ask them, why are they selling? If you ask them too early, why are you selling? You give them a call on the phone, and that's your first question. Hi, I'm calling about the property for sale at 1234 Mockingbird Lane. Are you the owner? Yes. Okay, great. Why are you selling? It's not going to work. Okay, happy Saturday. I am waiting for it to show up on the IG Live. All right, so I know that on the East Coast, it's already the afternoon. Out here on the West Coast, it's the morning. So good morning to people on the West Coast. Good afternoon to people out on the East Coast. It's a Saturday. So for those of you who are tuning in and you don't know, I have committed to going live a minimum of once per day. I'm going to try to do it once in the morning and once in the late evening, depending on my schedule. And what I will be doing is just giving bite-sized chunks of how to do this business, how to operate as a real estate investor by wholesaling, right? Using wholesaling as a tool for you to become a real estate investor so that you can cherry pick the best deals that you find, and then the ones that you don't find, you can assign for a profit. That's the whole idea. That's the concept behind. Sorry, I'm checking to see if this is recording. And let's start recording. Okay, so anyway, it's Saturday, and so for those of you who are tuning in, I tip my hat to you. I know that there are plenty of people who are working their full-time occupations, their full-time professions, their full-time careers, and sometimes those careers include being a parent, right? Being a parent is a full-time, more than a full-time. It's a 120-hour per week job that never ends either. So I know that there are plenty of people who are building their real estate business around, their existing schedules, and it's not easy. So for those of you who are working this Saturday, this Sunday, or if, for religious reasons, you don't work a Saturday or you don't work a Sunday, but you're still committing to at least one day this weekend to working on building your dreams around whatever it is that you're already doing, I applaud you, right? A lot of times you're not recognized for that. A lot of times people don't see it as you working hard. A lot of times people will think that you're crazy, including, friends, family, children, your spouse, right? What are you doing? It's your weekend. Relax, enjoy it, spend time with your family. These are all the things that you're going to hear. But for those of you who are dreamers, trust me, when you're a dreamer and you're an entrepreneur, we speak the same language. I know what you're going through. I know the conversations that you're hearing. I know what people are whispering when you're out there working on a day that you should normally take off. So again, for those of you who are working this Saturday, I applaud you. I think that it's great. Okay, now let's go over the scripts that you need to know. This one's going to be short. We're probably going to be in and out within about 15 to 20 minutes. I too have my obligations, and I coach my my son's basketball team, and I coach another basketball division. So I'll be coaching two different games today in the next 45 minutes or so. So this isn't intended to be long. I don't want them to be long. I want them to just be bite-sized drop-ins where I come in and I cover some helpful information that is going to help you become a better real estate investor by wholesaling real estate. Okay, so let's, and I don't know if you caught the background or not, but I've got locker rooms behind me. I did that intentionally. And for those of you on YouTube, you're looking at a high school hallway, right? Because the way I look at it is sometimes you just got to go back to school. You got to go back to basics. And so that's what we're going to be covering, just the basics right now, which is the scripts that you need to know. You absolutely need to know these scripts in order for you to succeed as an investor who uses wholesaling as a strategy to build their real estate portfolio. So let's go over the first script. The first script is the for sale by owners, okay? The for sale by owners are the low-hanging fruit. These are the people that are going out there and they're promoting their properties for sales themselves. They are doing this without a real estate agent. Now, I know that they are doing this because they want to obviously make as much money as possible. They want to avoid paying commissions, or for whatever reason, they just have an aversion to real estate agents. They don't want to use a real estate agent for a variety of reasons, maybe because they don't want to make repairs, theirs, maybe because they don't want people coming into their houses. They don't want to have open houses. They don't want to do any of the prep work. They don't want to clean the house only to hear that nobody showed up and that people didn't come for the appointments. Or I've said it before, they may have family members who are in the business. And when you've got family members that are competing for your business, and you've got more than one person in your family that has a real estate license, they could get upset with you. So for whatever reason, this person has opted to sell their property by themselves. That's why they are a for sale by owner. This is also known as a FSBO. Okay. Now they already have their property on the market. They are waving their hand, basically saying, I want to sell my property. Yes, I want to make the most money possible, but I still want to get the property sold. Now, when you approach these for sale by owners and you are going to give them a call, the script is going to go a little something like this. Hi, John or Jane. I am calling about the property at 1234 Mockingbird Lane. I see that it's for sale. Are you the owner? And they'll say yes or they'll say no. I want you to start with that first question because you'd be surprised that some people aren't actually the owners of these properties. Sometimes it is a real estate agent. Sometimes it is a wholesaler. And sometimes it is a friend or a family member of the owner that for whatever reason is marketing the property for them. I've heard stories of people that will say, hey, this is my great grandmother. She doesn't really know how to use a computer. I'm promoting it for her. I'm the one that's putting the property up for sale for her. Okay, fine, whatever. Okay, so John or Jane, I'm calling about the property at 1234 Mockingbird Lane. I see that it's for sale. Are you the owner? Yes, I'm the owner. Fantastic. What can you tell me about the property? All right, I want you to move right into the question of what can you tell me about the property? Remember, they are selling the property. They need to sell the property to you. That is their job. They're the ones who are doing the selling, not you. But for some reason, people get involved in what we do, and then they get on the phone and they feel like they have to sell themselves to the seller, and you really don't. They're selling the property. Let them sell the property to you. So John or Jane, I'm calling about 1234 Mockingbird Lane. I see that it's for sale. Are you the owner? I will continue to repeat what I am saying over and over, and I will go back and start from the beginning as I progress through the script, because what I've discovered is that way, that repetition helps you remember what it is that I'm saying. So, hi, John or Jane. I'm calling about 1234 Mockingbird Lane. Are you the owner? Yes, I am the owner. Fantastic. What can you tell me about the property? Now, what will happen then is that the seller will start to, tell you a little bit about the property. They'll tell you all the wonderful things that they've done. I've done this, I've done that. They will begin to sell the property to you. Now, in the event that they don't, you may hear something like this. Well, I put it all on Zillow. I put all the comments here on Zillow and the photos are there. What you see is what you get. All right. I mean, that's possible. Those are some of the responses that you're going to get. Now, when somebody says that to me, everything's on Zillow. What do you want to know? Well, I'm kind of curious about the condition of the home. All right, that's going to be the next question. I'm curious about the condition of the home. And, some people, again, depending on how they're going to respond, they're going to say like, well, it's in great condition. I've done this, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. They will begin to sell the home. Or there will be times where you have some people that are going to say, well, the description's already there. It's on Zillow. Read the description, right? And you can already tell that when you are having a conversation with someone and there's that sense of aversion, right? You're already bumping into a wall. You already know that it's going to be a difficult seller to work with because, it's their job to sell the property to you and they're not doing a very good job at the very beginning. So I need you to recognize that early, okay? So what can you tell me about the property? Well, I've done this, I've done that, I've improved the property, it has a new HVAC, it has a new roof, we put hardwood floors on it. Okay, fantastic. And then what I want you to do is I want you to try to repeat what they said. Okay, repeat exactly what they said. Don't interpret what they said, repeat what they said. So, John, if I heard you right, you said that you've put a new roof and that you've put a new HVAC and you've got new windows in it. Is that right? And you always end it with that. Is that right? Did I hear you right? Are we on the same page? Am I understanding you right? Because what you're doing by repeating exactly what they said and then confirming it is you're creating synergy with the conversation, right? You're showing them, you're demonstrating, number one, that you're listening to them. But number two, you're getting them to say, yes, did I hear you correctly? Are we on the same page? Is that what you told me? And you keep doing that, people will hear your body language through the phone. That's really important. People will hear your body language through the phone, okay? Let that sink in. So you keep doing this, and eventually you've got them so conditioned to saying yes to you throughout the entire conversation that what starts to happen is you have synergy now. All right, great. So let's start from scratch. Hey, John or Jane, I'm calling about 1234 Mockingbird Lane. Are you the owner? Yes, I am the owner. Fantastic. What can you tell me about the property? Well, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Fantastic. So what you're saying then is you did this, you did this, you did this. Am I hearing you correctly? Yeah, great. Fantastic. Now, tell me, John, is there any wiggle room in the price? And I want you to ask them if there's any wiggle room in the price just to see what they say. Now we're starting to get a little bit more serious about the conversation. Is there any wiggle room in the price? Yeah, well, there's a little bit of wiggle room. Or you'll hear, no, there's absolutely no wiggle room whatsoever, right? I have to get that price. Oh, I see. Okay, so you repeat whatever they say. There is some wiggle room. Did I hear you right? Okay, great. There's absolutely no wiggle room. You have to get that price. Is that right, John? Yes, that's right. Okay. All right, no problem. So if, and I'm not saying I can, but if I can get you that price, John or Jane, what kind of a time frame are you looking for? Right? So now look what you've done. You've gone through this conversation. You've asked them some questions. You've developed some type of synergy with that conversation. You've got them to say yes to a few of your acknowledgments, acknowledging what they just told you, and you're getting them to repeat yes to you. And now you're getting down to the price. You want to know if there's any wiggle room, and then you're moving on to now if. I didn't say I could, but if I can get that price, what kind of a time frame are we talking about here, John or Jane? Now you're moving on to time frame, okay? And the reason that I want you to do that is because now what's happened is you're shifting, right? Now you're moving on to time frame and you're checking their motivation. So what kind of time frame are you looking for in order to make this move? And you give them options. Are you looking for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days? What kind of options are you looking for, John or Jane? Let them pick. If you leave the question open-ended and all you say is what kind of a time frame are you looking for, what happens is you cause them to think. And when people are forced to think, it creates confusion. People don't want to work, right? People are naturally, human beings are naturally, we're inherently lazy. Our brain wants to keep us safe and comfortable and on the couch. It doesn't want us to work. It just wants us to sit there with bonbons and potato chips. That's what our brain wants us to do because that's safe, it's comfortable. So what you want to do is you want to give them options so they can select one of those two options. What kind of a time frame are you looking for? 30, 60, 90 days, 6 months? What would make it easier for you, John? All right, great. So now you've got their price. You know what price they're looking for. You've asked them about the wiggle room, and now you're waiting for time frame. Well, we're thinking it's probably going to be about 60 days. Okay, 60 days, John. So here's what I've heard so far. What you've done to the property is this, 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 and this. If I can get you that price, you're looking for a time frame of 30 days, 60 days. Is that right? Okay, great. So now you've got their time frame. So where are you going to move to next? Right now you can ask where they're going to be relocating to next, okay? So you've now gotten their price, you've gotten what their time frame is, and now you want to go to where they're moving to next. What are the possible answers? Well, we're going to go out of state. Well, this house is too big for us. Well, they'll give you whatever reason it might be. The last thing that if they do tell you, well, this is just a rental, we just want to get rid of it. Now you know that they don't live at that property, okay? So that wouldn't apply. If they don't have a place that they're going to relocate to, right? If in their head they don't know where they're going to next, typically that's not a really hot lead. That's a lukewarm lead because in their minds they don't have another destination. But if they tell you we're moving to our ranch in Texas, now you know you've got someone that's hot. Why? Right? Because now you've got someone that's given you a price, they've given you a time frame, and they've given you where they're going to relocate to next, okay? We haven't committed to any prices with this prospect yet. All we're doing is having a conversation with them. So going back to recapping. Hi, John or Jane. I'm calling about the property at 1234 Mockingbird Lane. Are you the owner? Yes, I'm the owner. Fantastic. What can you tell me about it? Well, I've done this, 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 and this. I see. So what you're saying is you've done this, 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 and this. Am I hearing you correctly? Fantastic. Now, is there any wiggle room in price? No, there's no wiggle room price. Okay, there's no wiggle room in price. Now, if, John or Jane, if, and I'm not saying that I can quite yet, but if I can get you the price that you're looking for, what kind of a time frame are you looking at? Are we talking 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 6 months? What's going to make it better for you? 60 days. Okay, 60 days. Fantastic. So here's what I'm hearing, John. What I'm hearing is that you've done this, this, and this to the property. You'd like to get $500,000 for the property. And if I can get you that $500,000, you could be out of here in about 60 days. Are we on the same page? Okay, fantastic. Now, tell me, just out of curiosity, where are you going to move to next? Well, we want to move down to Florida. We want to retire down in Florida. I see. Okay, so you want to retire down in Florida. Good for you. Okay, great. So here's what I'm understanding. You've done this, and this to the property. You'd like $500,000 for the property, and if you can get that price, then really you want to be down in Florida in the next 60 days. Are we on the same page? Okay, fantastic. Now look. Just out of curiosity, remind me again, why are you selling the property? Now that's the fourth question that I'm going to ask. That's my anchor question. This is going to determine their real level of motivation. And see, here's the thing. I save that as the anchor question because now I've earned the right to ask them, why are they selling? If you ask them too early, why are you selling? You give them a call on the phone, and that's your first question. Hi, I'm calling about the property for sale at 1234 Mockingbird Lane. Are you the owner? Yes. Okay, great. Why are you selling? It's not going to work. It creates that wall from the very, very beginning. And we don't want walls. We want to create synergy. We want to create some type of conversation where I'm getting them to say yes, and they're in agreement with me, and I'm saying yes multiple times throughout the conversation. So if you use this script correctly and you go through all the way down to that fourth question, and you're then asking them, remind me again, so why are you selling? Now they're going to really give you the real answer. Well, because, we got some property taxes we got to pay. Well, because we inherited, we really don't want the property. Well, this property is just way too big for us now, and maintaining it is very, very difficult, so we want to move on to something much, much smaller. Whatever the reason might be, now you've really extracted their level of motivation. So now you've got price, you've got time frame, you've got where they're relocating, and now you know why they're selling. You've got, a hot seller, or you've got a lukewarm seller. If you can get 3 out of 4, that's a hot seller. If you got 4 out of 4, that's a really, really hot seller. You need to stay in contact with that seller at least once or twice a week. If you've only got 2 out of 4, it's lukewarm. Maintain contact with them every week, week and a half. And if you've only got one thing out of them, if all you got is the price out of them, that's really the only thing that's motivating them. That's not a motivated seller in any way, shape, or form. Throw that fish back. Okay. All right, let's move on. Real estate agents. So this is the second script that you need to know. You need to know how to talk to real estate agents when you are prospecting for properties that are on the market. Okay, so when you call an agent, all right, it's very simple. Or, hey, I'm looking for John or Jane. I'm calling about 1234 Mockingbird Lane. Hi, John or Jane. Listen, my name's Paul. I'm interested in this property. What can you tell me about it? Let the real estate agent do their job. Let them sell the property to you. Well, it's been this, it's been that, whatever it might be. Okay, fantastic. Now, is there any wiggle room in the price? Wait and see what the agent says. Okay, some agents are going to tell you flat out, no, there's no wiggle room. We already have 10 offers on it. Okay, well, that might not be the tree that you want to bark, tree that you want to bark up to, right? I don't even know if I use that analogy right. Anyway, if it's a real estate agent and they say they've got 10 offers, you might not want to throw your hat in the ring. I'm really trying to use analogies right now, and I'm falling short. Anyway, if they got 10 offers, you don't want to get into a bidding war. So, all right, great. So what can you tell me about it, Mr. and Mrs. Real Estate Agent? Okay, fantastic. All right, any wiggle room in price? Maybe there might be some wiggle room in price. Okay, great. So I'm an investor and I'm looking to purchase the property. Have you gotten any offers on it? Now, I want you to ask them if they've gotten any offers on the property yet, okay? If it's been sitting on the market for 90 days and they haven't gotten any offers on it, then you know that they're grossly overpriced, all right? If it's been sitting on the market and if it's a brand new listing and they just put it on the market, in the last 3 days, give it some time. We don't know what's happening, but it's always a good idea to still ask them if they've gotten any offers on it, because if they just put it on the market 3 days ago and they already have offers on it, then you know that they did a really good job either pricing it or underpricing it to create competition. So again, you have to ask yourself, do you want to get into that competitive bidding war? You can run your numbers after you have the conversation with the agent, and then you can come back to the agent and you can decide, hey, can you represent me? I'd like to submit an offer, and you can see if it's worth you even doing that. Typically, in my experience, you're going to have much more leverage. You're going to have a better chance getting the deal accepted if it's been sitting on the market for at least 90 days or more. Okay, there's a little bit more flexibility there, just between you and I. So, Mr. and Mrs. Real Estate Agent, my name is Paul. I'm calling about 1234 Mockingbird Lane. Is it still available? Yes, it's still available. Fantastic. What can you tell me about it? Well, there's this, and this. Okay, fantastic. Have you guys gotten any offers on it yet? You have gotten some offers on it yet. Okay, fantastic. And why didn't the seller accept them? Now you wait and see if the agent answers. Now you're going to get some agents and they're going to be like, well, that's none of your business. Believe it or not, you will hear that. You will hear some agents say, well, those offers were just way too low for the seller. The seller didn't accept them because they felt that it was way too low. I see. So what you're telling me, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, is that the offers were way too low. Am I hearing you right? You'll see that I do the same exact thing that I did with the for sale by owners. I'm just repeating their responses. I'm confirming that I heard it correctly, and I'm getting them to say yes. Synergy, 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 synergy. I'm getting someone to say yes to me as many times as I can on the phone. They can hear and they can read my body language through the phone. All right, very important. Okay, so you've gotten some offers, but the seller didn't accept them because the seller felt that they were too low. Am I hearing you right, Mr. and Mrs. Agent? Yeah, that's what they said. Now, here's the thing. I want you to ask then, what was the price? What was the offer that they made? What price did they come in at? And you will get an agent that some of them will share it, and you will get an agent that will say, I can't tell you. I can't share that with you. It just depends, right? There's two schools of thought here. There's some people that will say that agents are not allowed to share that because it puts a seller at a disadvantage. And then there's some people that say, well, you know, I might as well disclose it anyway because if I become your agent, then I'm going to help you get the property. So it really just depends. It depends on the agent. At the end of the day, it's your responsibility as an investor to ask them if they've gotten any offers on the property and what price those offers came in at, because then it allows you to gauge whether or not, well, if those other people didn't, if the asking price is $300,000 and they've gotten offers on it at $210 and you want to be at $190 and the agent tells you that they've got offers at $210, you already know in your head, well, they've got offers at $210, they didn't take $190. You can use that to either say, well, can I come up to $200 or can I come up to $220? What can I do to make this work, right? So, and you're not going to know the answers to those questions unless you ask the agent. You have to ask the agent those questions. So what can you tell me about the property? Have they gotten any offers on the property? And what were those prices at? And then the last thing that you're going to ask them is, what's the seller going to do if they don't sell the property? Right? This is just common sense questions, but for whatever reason, people get involved in our business and they get scared. They don't want to ask these questions. You're the buyer. You're the investor. It's your job to ask these questions. You need to ask these questions. So, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, if the seller doesn't sell the property, what are they going to do with it? And you're going to hear some realtors, they're going to say things like, well, they'll just hold on to it. They don't really care. They don't need the money. Well, now you've saved yourself some time. Now you know that you've got a seller that isn't motivated. So why are you going to bark up that tree? I'm going after that analogy again. I'm going to get it right. Right? So the agent's telling you that the seller's not motivated, or they're just going to rent it out. Okay, they're just going to rent it out. You can hear it in their voice. There are plenty of conversations. Yeah, it's on YouTube too. We're live on YouTube. There are plenty of times where the agent, you can hear the, what's the word? Lack of interest in their voice. They've had the property on the market for 150 days. They've presented offers to the seller and the seller didn't accept any of them. The seller is telling the agent that the offers are too low. The agent is still working. The agent is still trying, but the seller's not cooperating. You can hear that almost depression, right? Their lack of enthusiasm in their voice when you're talking to them. So it's up to you. Now you make your decision. So am I gonna pursue this? Should I still try to submit another offer? I've had agents that have flat out told me, don't even bother. The seller's not gonna. The seller won't even look at it. The seller won't even consider it. Okay, but at least you know. Now let's go to the flip side. Let's say if we go back and we ask the agent, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Agent, so tell me what's the seller gonna do if they don't sell the property? Here's what I want to hear. Well, if they have to sell the property. They don't have a choice. They have to sell the property. They're going through a divorce. They have to sell the property. If they don't sell this property, the property's going to be foreclosed on. They have to sell the property because if they don't sell the property, they can't pay their back taxes on it. They have to sell the property. Unfortunately, something happened to them. They're having some health issues and it's not going to work out for them. They have to sell the property. They want to be closer to their grandchildren. They want to be closer to their own children. They need, just because of their age, they need to be closer to the children just so that they can monitor them and take care of them. Those are the things that I want to hear because now I'm hearing motivation. I don't want to hear, if they don't sell it, they'll just rent it out. If they don't sell it, no big deal. They don't need the money, right? You hear those things, those are the kiss of death comments that I hear from real estate agents. Those are the ones that I'm like, okay, this deal's not for me. And not only is the deal not for me, but the real estate agent doesn't even seem motivated enough to help me get it. I'm here trying to submit an offer. They'll make a commission off it, and they're over here discouraging me from submitting an offer, right? I mean, think about that. So anyway, that's the script for real estate agents. If you need any of these scripts written down, You can join our school community, school, SKOOL.dispodragons.com, school.dispodragons.com. And I'm going to plug it. I always have to plug it, right? Deal like a dove, dispo like a dragon. All of it is in here. Everything that I'm covering is in this book. You can find it on Amazon. Deal like a dove, dispo like a dragon. All the scripts are in this book. And if you purchase it and you do a social media post holding the book, I'll give you a free Audible code so that you can download it on Audible as well. All right, it's 10:40 right now. I have to go coach some kids and my son. Wonderful, wonderful children. I coach basketball, and so I'm going to be coaching them right now. We have a game. We have two games. We have one at 11 o'clock and one at noon. So wish me luck. Awesome. If you guys ever need any information covered, if you guys need content that you want me to cover, I like using this slide format. There's a lot of people that get on the phones and they make the calls and they're showing you how they're doing their calls, and that's great, but I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes it's just boring sitting through 10, 15, 20 minutes of hearing people just dialing and just hearing the phone trilling and nothing going on. So I don't personally do that. I feel like I get more stuff out of using this format by creating the slides and then teaching the content, as opposed to, I'll still share what I do on a daily basis. I make videos of that stuff as well, but I feel like this is much more educational, much more personal, and if you give me the topics that you need help with, at least I can address those topics so that everybody wins. Because if you're thinking about it, or if you're having a challenge with something, somebody else is having the same challenge. And I'd rather cover it that way as opposed to you watching me videos of me close people, live. I can close people live too. If you guys want to see some of those, let me know. All right. Okay. Have a great day, everybody. Happy Saturday. Let's go, Weekend Warriors. Let's make some money. All right. Talk to you soon.